Welcome to Hansel Financial. Are we in a recession? Are we not in a recession? Are we on our way into a recession? Are we not? Nobody really knows. In my own opinion, I do feel like that we're on the cusp of a recession, if not already in one. Talk about things that you don't want to do financially in a recession. But you know what? One thing that will not hurt your financial freedom in a recession? By liking this video, giving this video a comment, and subscribing to my YouTube channel. Again, I really appreciate all you out there. Thank you so much. So the first financial move that we do not want to take during a recession is going to be put on more debt. During a recession, a lot of things is uncertain. The economy is uncertain. The stock market is uncertain. Maybe your job is uncertain, so your income could be uncertain. Again, don't want to scare you all there. Rather be safe than sorry, as the saying goes. And so with that, we want to make sure that we're not taking on any new debt that we don't have to take. And some of those new types of debt could be maybe credit cards. Don't want to be bringing up those credit card balances. Maybe it's new loans, personal loans, maybe loans for your house or for your car, that kind of stuff. Because by taking on that new debt, that high interest debt is going to affect you negatively in your finances because you're not going to be able to put more money aside to pay off maybe your own current debt, or maybe put more money aside to your savings, into your emergency fund. Instead, you have to be paying off that new debt that you just got during the recession. So we don't want to do that. Instead, we want to focus on paying off the existing debt that you have. So any existing debt that you do have, we want to focus solely on that during recession. Don't put on new debt. Pay off your existing debt. And this kind of rolls into the second financial move that we don't want to take during recession, which is going to be overspending on non-essential items. Why this could be risky during recession? Again, recession is unknown. It's unstable during that time frame in your economy and the stock market. And so we don't want to take on extra expenses to a monthly budget. And that could be spending things on luxury goods, maybe buying new name brand clothing or purses if you're a lady, or maybe a watch or jewelry or sunglasses, whatever the case is. Not sure in the economy and how it's going, if we're going to be able to have that steady stream of income coming in to help pay for your needs every month. So we don't want to be spending that money on your wants. So instead of spending money on those non-essential items, instead we want to make sure that we have our budget laid out. We have our needs on there every single month, and we're making sure that the money that's coming in is being able to afford and pay for all those needs that we have listed out. And again, for the budget, it's not difficult to create. Just create a budget, spreadsheet, Google Sheet, whatever you want to do, and just mark off your things that you pay every single month that you have to pay for. Some examples could be your mortgage, your rent, your car insurance, your car payment, medical insurance. Put a budget for your groceries, put a budget for your electricity, utilities, that kind of stuff. We want to make sure that we have enough money coming in every month to pay for those needs and for those expenses a month, and we don't want to spend extra money on things that we don't actually need, especially during a recession. Third financial move that we do not want to take during a recession is making risky investments. This is just all my own opinion. I am not a financial advisor. Recession is uncertainty, and we don't want you to invest in things that could possibly lose money. Again, every investment is a risk. Doesn't matter how the economy is, good, bad, bull market, bearish market, doesn't matter. Every investment is a risk. It's never a guarantee that you're going to make money. And real quick, the first example that pops in my head of a possible risky investment during a recession is going to be, obviously, but I'll guess it is crypto. I would recommend, if you are going to invest, try and invest in the two big boys, either Bitcoin or Ethereum. Those are going to be the ones I recommend that you try and invest in. But with your risk investment, I would highly recommend you not to invest in any of the meme coins during a recession. Again, those are so volatile, up and down. I don't want you all to lose your hard-earned money. So again, try and stay away from those risky investments. Crypto is just one example, but there's thousands of other risky investments out there. And again, I want you to be smart with your money, be knowledgeable. And again, if something sounds too good to be true, most of the time it's going to be not true. If you are able to financially to put some money aside into your investments after you are paying off your debt, after you have the emergency fund set up, after you put money into savings, you have money left over. A lot of times during recession, those stocks, as an example, we're going to use the S&P 500 stocks, they might be coming down during recession. So this might be a good buying opportunity to buy those less risky stocks and buy some index funds, and so put some extra money into there. And long term, those investments might be able to grow over time and be able to help you financially. The fourth financial move that we do not want to take during a recession is you do not want to ignoring your emergency fund. Now, this one is key, everyone out there, okay? Listen up. We want to make sure that you are setting up an emergency fund for your finances. And again, we want to shoot for 3 to 6 months in a savings account for your emergencies. Now, we do not want to ignore this. This is very key because, again, as I stated earlier, recession is uncertain. We're not sure what the outcome is going to be. Recession could last, a year, it could last 2 years. We don't know. No one really knows. The whole point of the emergency fund setup is you have 4 to 6 months saved up. Again, I recommend a high yield online savings account. Make sure it's FDIC approved. The money you have in there is going to actually grow over time because of the high interest, and it's going to be credited back to your account. So you're going to make a little bit of money on that emergency fund account. But anyway, the reason why I want to have this set up is, again, with the recession, your job might not be guaranteed, some uncertainty with that. We want to make sure we have enough money saved up in there, so if you do happen to lose your job, hopefully not, hopefully everyone out there is going to be able to keep their job and continue to work, but we have to think rationally and in reality that some people will be losing their jobs during this time, so we want to make sure we have enough money in that emergency fund to pay for those expenses. And again, I recommend try and get to that 6 months expenses. And what does that mean? Well, you want to, again, take your budget and whatever your monthly expenses are that you have to pay for every single month, whatever that is, you want to times that by 6, and that should be the amount of money that you have saved up in your emergency fund. So that way, if something was to happen with your job during a recession, you're able to pay for your bills that have to be paid every single month. Now, again, if that does happen, try and find another job, but that emergency fund is there for emergencies only, so that you can use that money not to take out debt to pay for your needs and your expenses every month. The fifth financial move that you do not want to do during a recession is going to be to dip into your retirement savings. This one, I would say, if you have to, like there's no other option and you have to dip, then obviously for your own financial being, then yes. If there's no other option out there, then yes, go ahead and dip. But again, there's going to be penalties when you take out early from your retirement fund. I think it's 10% plus taxes. So we don't want to do that. So we want to keep that money in there and not touch it until you're of age to retire. We want to try and exhaust all other options instead of dipping into your 401k. Try and pull from savings. You have to sell some other investments that's not retirement and do that to be not on the street. I want you all to be living somewhere, being able to provide food on the table for your family or for yourself. And so if you have to, no other choice and you can, but again, really try your best not to dip into your 401k. You want to keep that in there because again, the more time that money has to sit in your 401k for your retirement, the longer it has to get that compound interest, which is what we want. That way you can make more money over time and hopefully become financial free when you become retired. So the sixth financial move that we do not want to take during a recession is not keeping up with our budget. Sometimes maybe your hours get cut back because maybe your company cannot afford to pay you for so many hours. Making sure that we are keeping it updated with our income that's coming in, and we want to adjust as well as our expenses to make sure that we are aligned with our income, to make sure that we're staying with our budget and not going in the red every single month. And this doesn't take long. I would recommend maybe once, maybe twice a month. Just log into whatever system or whatever spreadsheet that you have for your budget. Go in there and just run the numbers, look at the numbers, making sure that you're staying in line of your budget and making sure that you're not going over your budget. You want to stay in the green, and that way you'll be able to stay ahead of the curve during recession and not go in debt or not go into red with your finances. So the seventh financial move that you do not want to take during recession is if you are looking for a job during a recession or want to change jobs, make sure that you're doing it under careful consideration. Do all the research before doing that job. And what I've always said and always learned is it's best to look for a job while you already have a job. If you are not happy with your job, you don't want to quit it and then look for a job because it could take months trying to find a new job. And then if you quit your old job while looking for a new one, well, then you're going to be out of luck. You're going to have no income coming in. So instead, I would recommend, if you are not happy in your current career, your current job position, especially during a recession, you want to keep that job and on the side, start looking for new jobs, start sending out those applications, start sending out your resumes to different companies. That way you still have an income coming in while you're looking for a job, and hopefully you're able to find that new job, and that way you don't have any loss of income during a recession when finances could be tight for you or even for your family. So be very considerate, do your research when trying to find that new job. And when you are looking for a new job, make sure that you already have a job currently so that way money's still coming in to pay for your bills, especially during a recession. The eighth financial move that you don't want to do is to delay your debt payments. Now, some companies will allow you to delay debt to a further notice because maybe you're struggling right now. But again, I would highly recommend you not do that because a lot of time there might be fees associated with that, or there might even be higher interest in the back end. And so they get you. They get you on the back end because like, oh, you don't have to pay for that now. You can pay for it in a year now. Make sure you read the fine print on that because sometimes if you wait paying off that debt, it's going to have a higher interest, or maybe all interest has occurred those first, year, and now it's on the back end. And so now the payment has basically ballooned into one that's even bigger than originally, and now you really can't afford it. So again, do your research, making sure that you're paying off your debt, as you mentioned earlier in this video. Actually read everything, read the fine print, read the contract before you sign or do anything financially. So the ninth financial move that we do not want to take during recession is overtaxing yourself on large purchases. And really the main one I'm kind of looking at here, buying a car that you really can't afford, especially in a recession. Fun toys, maybe like a boat, ATV, an RV, that kind of stuff, but we want to make sure that we're being smart with finances. You don't want to overtax yourself when purchasing these larger items. It's uncertain. We're not sure, if your job is going to be there in a month or 2 or 6 months from now. Not saying it won't be. I'm just saying trying to be on the side of caution, especially during a recession, because again, the recession is very uncertain and everything's going to be down. Even if you think you can say, oh, I can afford this larger car payment. Well, you might be able to now, or might barely be able to afford now, but what happens in 6 months or a year from now? Maybe your hours get cut back, or maybe you lose your job, or you have to find a job that pays less just to pay the bills, and now you're stuck with this large car payment or large boat payment that you can't really afford a year from now. You want to buy something that is reliable, that's going to get you from point A to point B. Again, maybe this time in your life, it's not time to buy that $80,000 truck or $80,000 car that you're wanting. Maybe you need to buy more in the used market instead of buying new. Buy something used, a little bit cheaper, reliable, that can get you point A to point B, and that way you're not stuck in a high payment every single month with your car payment, and that way you can make sure that you can afford that car payment even in a recession, or even something was to happen to you bad financially in a recession. And finally, the last financial move that I don't want you guys to do during recession is going to be selling your investments. Now, I talked about earlier about possibly selling your 401k, which you don't want to do unless you have to. During a recession, a lot of the times, the stocks are going to be coming down because, again, we're in a recession. That's just what happens. And so you do not want to panic and sell those. My portfolio is now down 30% in just a couple months. I should sell it before it goes down even lower. Well, you might not want to, because a lot of times in a recession, yes, prices are going to come down, but the majority of the time, after a year or 2 or 3 years, the price is going to come back up to what they were, and then you'll be able to get your money back or even make more money. The stocks in your brokerage, technically, yes, it says 30% down, it says that you're losing money, but you haven't really lost anything. If you haven't sold the stock, then it's just on paper it's down 30%. You don't have it physically in your assets, so you haven't actually lost that money. It's still in there, and so you want to keep it in there, because even if it goes down 30%, in 2-3 years it might go up 40%, and then you're back up to making money. If you would have sold it, well then now if you want to get back in, now you have to buy at a more expensive price and get less shares for your money. Don't sell your investments unless you have to, unless financially there's no other option. You have to sell those options, sell those stocks in order to pay your bills. Then yes, you can in a recession. But again, I would highly recommend, in my opinion, try and keep your stocks and your investments in there. They're going to go back up to their normal price. Well, everyone, that's going to do it for this video on financial moves that you should not make during a recession, in my own opinion. Again, I don't know if we are in a recession or we're not. In my opinion, I think we're just right on the cusp of it. Get you all out there to be prepared if we do go into recession with these things of what not to do during recession. You want to do the opposite of them. If you guys found this video informative, if you found something in liking it, you found something that you thought you didn't think of before, then please, again, give this video a like, comment below, and give my channel a subscribe. Again, I really appreciate it. I have another great video that I created last week. It's going to pop up right there. Yes, that one. Talking about things that you must do right now or in a session to help you financially. So if you want to watch that, I'm going to have it up right there, like I said. And that's going to do it for me. You guys all have a good one out there. So...